Let me ask you something. Have you ever finished your daily walk, the one everyone says keeps you young, yet still felt your legs heavy, tired, or even swollen? You're doing everything right, so why does it sometimes feel like your body's working against you? Here's the truth most people over 60 never hear. Walking alone might not be the best way to keep your legs strong and your energy high. In fact, surgeons now agree that there's a single type of exercise, one that takes less than 2 minutes, that can actually outperform walking for circulation, balance, and vitality. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is, why it works, and how you can start today, safely, right from your chair. Now, before we go any further, I want to be clear about something. Walking is wonderful. It gets you outside, it moves your joints, it lifts your mood. I'm not here to tell you to stop walking, but I am here to share something that might surprise you. Something that came up in a conversation I had recently with a colleague who specializes in vascular health and aging. He told me about patients in their 70s and 80s who were walking 30, even 40 minutes a day, and still struggling with leg fatigue, ankle swelling, and that unsteady feeling when they stood up too quickly. These weren't sedentary people. They were active. They were trying. And yet, something was missing. Think of walking this way. It's like turning the key in your car's ignition. You hear the engine purr a little. You feel some movement, but you never actually put it in gear. Walking gives your leg muscles a gentle nudge, but it doesn't fully wake them up, especially the muscles buried deep inside your calves, the ones responsible for pumping blood back up to your heart and keeping you stable on your feet. So, if walking isn't the whole answer, what's missing? There's a muscle in your lower leg that most people have never heard of, and yet it plays one of the most critical roles in your body's ability to stay balanced, energized, and free from swelling. Scientists and cardiologists have started calling it your body's second heart. And here's the thing, after age 60, this muscle often goes dormant, not weak, not damaged, just asleep. This muscle is called the soleus. It sits deep beneath the larger calf muscle you can see in the mirror. It doesn't look flashy, it doesn't bulge, but every single time it contracts, it acts like a pump, squeezing blood and fluid from your feet and ankles back up toward your heart, fighting gravity with every pulse. Imagine for a moment that you're standing in your kitchen, washing dishes or chopping vegetables. Your heart is pumping blood down to your legs with no problem. Gravity's helping. But getting that blood back up, that's where your body needs help. Your soleus is designed to be that helper, silently working in the background to keep circulation flowing, prevent pooling and swelling, and maintain the pressure balance your whole system relies on. But here's what happens over time. We start moving less. We sit more. We wear cushioned shoes that do all the work for our feet. And slowly, almost invisibly, that deep muscle stops getting the signals it needs. It's like a pump left in the basement for years. It's still there. It still works. It just needs someone to flip the switch. If you've noticed your ankles swelling by the end of the afternoon, that's your second heart taking a nap. If you've felt heaviness in your legs after standing for just a few minutes, that's circulation struggling without its backup system. And if you've ever felt unsteady, like your body isn't quite sure where your feet are in space, that's a balance system that stopped receiving clear information from the ground up. The good news, the really good news, is that waking this muscle up is simple. It doesn't require a gym membership. It doesn't require you to get down on the floor. And it definitely doesn't require you to push through pain or exhaustion. So, how do we wake it up safely and keep it active every day? We start with something so gentle you can do it while sitting right where you are. In fact, I encourage you to try it with me as we go through this. If you're seated comfortably right now, you're already in the perfect position. This first movement is called seated heel raise. And even though it might seem too simple to matter, I promise you, this is where everything begins. Because buried inside your lower legs lies that hidden engine we just talked about, and this movement is how we send it the wake-up call it's been waiting for. Here's what you're going to do. Sit tall in your chair. Let your feet rest flat on the floor, with your knees bent at about a 90-degree angle. You can place your hands gently on top of your knees, or, for a little extra challenge, hold 2 small water bottles there for light resistance. Nothing heavy, just enough to remind your muscles they are working. Now, keeping the balls of your feet pressed firmly into the floor, slowly lift both heels, as high as you comfortably can. You should feel a squeeze, a gentle tightening in the back of your lower legs. That's your soleus waking up. That's your second heart starting to beat. Hold that position at the top for 1 or 2 seconds. Really feel it. Then, this part is just as important. Slowly lower. Your heels back to the floor with control. Don't let them drop. Don't let gravity do the work. You're in charge of this movement from start to finish. That's 1 repetition. Now do it again and again. Aim for 10-15 repetitions. If you can, try to do this once or distatis twice a day. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. That's it? That's the big secret? But here's what you need to understand. This isn't about flashy movements or breaking a sweat. This is about connection. Every single time you lift your heels, you're sending a signal from your muscles to your brain. This muscle matters. Wake up, support me, pay attention, and your brain listens. It starts rerouting resources. It strengthens the nerve connections that tell that muscle when to fire and how hard. As circulation improves, people often notice something remarkable. Their legs feel lighter. The heaviness that used to set in by mid-afternoon starts to fade. The swelling around their ankles decreases. And most importantly, they feel a new sense of connection to the ground when they walk, like their legs are finally working with them instead of against them. Safety note. This movement is very gentle, but if you've recently had a blood clot, have severe painful varicose veins, or experience sharp sudden calf pain, talk to your clinician before starting. We don't push through warning signs. We work with the body intelligently. For everyone else, you've just completed the first step. You've awakened your second heart. And now that it's awake, we can start building upward, because sitting is where we begin, but standing is where we reclaim power. There's a quiet moment that happens in everyday life, one that tells you more about your body than any blood test ever could. It's that second when you stand up and feel just a little unsure on your feet. Maybe it's a subtle sway, a hesitation before taking your first step. Maybe you instinctively reach for the chair or the wall. You tell yourself it's just aging, but deep down, you wonder, is this how it's going to be from now on? It doesn't have to be. Buried within your lower legs is a force designed to push back against gravity itself, a system that, when properly activated, brings back that quiet confidence you used to have every time you stood tall. This isn't about building bulky calves or doing gym-style workouts. This is about teaching your balance system to switch on when you need it most, while standing, walking, or reaching into the top shelf of a cabinet. In the first movement, we woke up your second heart, the soleus pump. Now we'll take that activation and teach it how to work in the real world, standing, weight-bearing, and full of purpose. This next move is where strength meets control and where you reclaim stability from the ground up. We're going to do a standing calf raise with the same slow intention we used while seated. This isn't a race. It's a conversation between you and your body. Here's how to set yourself up safely. Stand facing a sturdy surface. You see your kitchen countertop or the back of a heavy chair. Place both hands lightly on that surface, just enough to feel supported, not to lean your full weight. You're using it for balance, not to hold yourself up. Keep your feet about hip width apart, toes pointing forward. Shift your weight slightly toward the balls of your feet. You should feel grounded, stable, ready. From here, slowly lift both heels as high as you comfortably can. This time, you're lifting against your full body weight. You're teaching those calf muscles, both the soleus and the larger gastrocnemius, to support you completely. Pause at the top. Feel your muscles activate as they hold you. Then, slowly lower. Your heels back to the ground with full control. Imagine you're placing something fragile on a shelf. You'd set it down gently, with awareness. That's the quality we're aiming for. Repeat 10-15 times. If you'd like, do this once in the morning to wake your legs up, and once in the evening to drain any swelling and reset your balance system before bed. Why this works? When you stand and lift your heels, you're not just working muscle. You're training proprioception, your body's ability to sense where it is in space. It's your internal GPS. The better your proprioception, the more automatic and precise your balance becomes. You stop thinking about every step. Your body just knows. That confidence comes from repetition, clear signals sent over and over until the pathway becomes strong and reliable again. Unlike walking, which only partially engages these muscles, this movement puts them through their full range. It builds resilient strength, pumps stagnant blood and lymph upward, and trains your ankles to control body weight with grace, not guesswork. Safety note: if you've had recent foot-ankle surgery, feel dizzy on standing, or have severe balance issues even with support, stay with the seated version for now and consult a physical therapist before progressing. For everyone else, with each deliberate lift, you've told your body, I am not fragile. You're building micro-control and a macro-confidence. Now we'll go deeper, unlocking a layer of activation most people never access, and which may be the missing key to lifelong stability. There's a split second when your body decides whether it will stay standing or start falling. It happens during tiny weight shifts, standing on one foot to put on a sock, stepping onto a curb. If your deep stability system isn't fully online, that's when slips happen. What if I told you there's a secret muscle, deeper than what we've used so far, that stars in those moments? It's not the big calf you see in the mirror. That's the gastrocnemius, built for power. The true powerhouse of balance. It is deeper, slower, and tireless. And we're about to activate it like most people never do. We call this movement the bent knee calf raise, done one leg at a time. This isn't about athleticism. It's about precision, waking up a part of your stability system that's been waiting to support you. Stand behind a sturdy chair or countertop, hands resting lightly. Shift your weight onto your right leg, and lift the left foot an inch off the floor behind you, just enough that your right leg supports you. Key detail: slightly bend your right knee, not a squat, just a soft, athletic bend. From here, with your knee still bent, slowly lift your right heel, as high as you comfortably can. Pause at the top and notice the difference. The activation is deeper, closer to your ankle, almost from inside your leg. That's your soleus firing at full capacity, your true postural muscle coming online. Slowly lower your heel with control, keeping the knee softly bent the entire time. Do 12 repetitions. On the right, then switch to the left. Take your time. Every repetition teaches your body something valuable. Why bending the knee changes everything. With a straight knee, your body recruits the large gastrocnemius. Bend the knee, and you take it largely out of the equation, forcing the soleus to do the work. The soleus is packed with the slow-twitch fibers, built for all-day stability, tiny corrections, and pumping blood against gravity. It's critical for ankle and knee alignment and wired directly into your balance control system. Most people over 60 have a dormant soleus, not weak or damaged, just forgotten. This movement reminds your nervous system it's still there, still powerful, and ready to hold you steady when it matters most. Safety note: if you can't safely stand on one leg even with support, have recent ankle Achilles surgery, or feel intense pain with a bent knee, modify by keeping both feet down in a bent knee stance, or consult your clinician. Now let's zoom out. These 3 simple movements don't just strengthen legs, they transform your circulation. Think of your circulatory system like a highway. The heart pumps blood down easily, but returning blood up from your feet against gravity can back up. Blood and lymph pool, ankles swell, legs feel heavy, muscles tire faster. Activate your soleus, and every contraction squeezes the veins in your lower leg, pushing blood upward. It's the skeletal muscle pump, so effective that surgeons call it Jordich's second heart. When that pump works efficiently, circulation improves system-wide. Traffic clears, oxygen flows, energy returns. People who do these for just 5 minutes a day, or often notice changes within days or weeks. Less evening puffiness, lighter legs on stairs, more afternoon energy. Some even see modest improvements in blood pressure as the cardiovascular system works more efficiently. And there's a brain benefit. Each slow, controlled rep, especially the single leg version, retunes proprioception. Those tiny sensors in your feet, ankles, and joints send clearer signals. Over time, the radio static turns to a clear channel. Steps feel steady. Curbs feel simple. These exercises gave me the conversation back. So, how do we make this practical? Set aside 5 minutes, twice a day, if possible. Morning and evening are great, while coffee brews during a commercial or before bed. 1. Seated heel raises. 10 to about 15 reps. 2. Standing calf raises, 10 about 15 reps. 3. Bent knee single leg raises, 8-12 each side. That's it. No equipment, no gym, just you and your body, rebuilding strength and stability from the ground up. Consistency beats intensity. Your nervous system strengthens with repetition. Those pathways decide whether you move with confidence or with caution. One more thing, something that can quietly undermine your progress. Thick, highly cushioned, rigid shoes muffle the sensory feedback your balance system depends on, like reading Braille with gloves. They also restrict natural foot motion, weakening intrinsic foot muscles over time. I'm not saying toss your shoes, but spend a few safe minutes daily, barefoot or in flexible, thin-soled or footwear with a wide toe box. Let your feet feel and move. This one change amplifies everything else you're doing. Now, the bigger picture. This isn't just about exercises or footwear. It's about freedom. At 60, 70, 80, you're not losing strength. You're learning to move smarter, honoring where you are, while gently expanding what's possible. Every mindful repetition tells your body, I still have control, I still have agency. Strength, yes, freedom. Freedom to walk without fear, freedom to live independently, freedom to move through your world with ease. The people who thrive into their 80s and 90s aren't lucky. They're consistent, curious, intentional. They take small actions, even when progress feels slow. They know their best movement years are the ones where wisdom guides the work. So many need to hear that decline isn't inevitable, that their second heart is waiting to be awakened. Subscribe for more. Doctor approved. Practical ways to stay strong, independent, and energized. We'll keep exploring simple movements that make a real difference.